Spring is a magic time to be out in the bush, and it's definitely one of my favourite times of the year to pack the truck and head up into the Victorian high country hunting sambar. On a recent trip we put in the customary big miles and days searching for deer, but with so much feed around after the fires and recent steady rains, it was a rare time of plenty for the Aussie bush, which made for some magic scenery, but the sambar sure were hard to find being so spread out. After a big day on the hill, there's nothing better than a good feed, so once back at camp I got set up to cook up one of my venison specialties.
Throughout Europe and the Mediterranean, veal is a highly regarded table fare. And if you're not familiar with veal, it's basically young, lean beef, and being so lean, it's very similar to venison, which makes any veal dish perfect for cooking up with venison. And tonight I'm going to be doing a family favourite in our house, which is my take on the Italian classic veal scallopini, except it's venison scallopini. And instead of veal, we're using alpine veal, otherwise known as Victorian free-range sambar. The word scallopini has its origins in French and Italian culture. It really means scalloped or thin slices of meat. So any cut that you would normally use for schnitzel or medallions or steaks are ideal for this one. So top side, your round and backstrap is also ideal. And tonight we're going to be using a bit of sambar backstrap.
Mushrooms are a key part of this dish, so start off with slicing up a good handful. Then you'll need a red onion. I reckon about half a large one is perfect, but make sure you get this sliced nice and fine so it'll soften easily in the pan. Next up, take a rasher of quality bacon and dice it into small squares. With the gas on the go, add a good chunk of butter to the pan, and while it's heating up, I'm going to head over to the fire and set up my grill plate to get it cranking hot so I can get started on some corn on the cob, as well as grill up thick slices of red and green capsicum, as apparently veggies go nicely with meat as well. Who would have thought, eh? The sauce comes together quick and easy, so to the pan add the onion, mushrooms and bacon and cook for a couple of minutes to soften. To start bringing in the flavours, we'll add some chopped fresh sage, which incidentally always goes well with venison, and then add about half a teaspoon of gram masala. To take it to the next level, add some Worcestershire sauce and minced garlic. And both of these brands are ones I regularly use because they taste great and they're Australian made, which is always a good thing. Add in around a tablespoon of Worcestershire and the equivalent of 2 cloves of garlic. Next up is the hero of the dish, which is sherry. I like a sweet one, but be careful not to add too much. So go steadily by taste and allow time for the alcohol to cook off. To bulk up the sauce, we'll add around a cup of beef stock, then let this simmer for a few minutes while we get started on the venison. As with any steak cut, for the backstrap, I'm slicing it across the grain. And for this dish, thin slices are best, no more than 1 centimetre thick. Don't skimp, be generous and make lots, as trust me, you'll always be wanting more. And the best thing about running out of venison means it's just time to go hunting again. Toss the meat lightly in flour and then it's ready for the grill.
With traditional veal scallopini, the recipe usually calls for the veal to be added back into the sauce after it's been fried off and sautéed. But as you know, venison cooks on too quickly. It's just so lean and so tender that it'll get tough if you were to add it back in here after cooking. Can't cook venison twice, only cook it once. So what we're doing here is cooking the venison, sautéing them over there on the grill, over the fire, and I'm going to have this sauce ready to go now. So the final ingredient is definitely the best bit, and it's cream. Add the cream in here. As little or as much as you want. I like a lot. Stir it through. Keep it warm, let it thicken, and it's ready to serve.
With the coals now perfect, the venison was on the hot plate and done briefly on each side, and most importantly, taken off when still rare, as venison will always cook onto medium once taken off the heat.
Last thing is to serve this beautiful sauce over the top of the venison.
For a premium quality Australian made vehicle canopy customised to the needs of the hunter, tourer, camper or tradesman, visit trigpoint.com.au.